Hi everybody, happy Sunday. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I spent this weekend at the Mandurah Healing Psychic Expo, and conversations I had with the people alongside me was phenomenal, so I want to speak to that. To begin with, what I want to talk about is the whole 6 degrees of separation thing. There's supposedly an unwritten law that, or maybe it's been proven, I'm not sure, but there's always 6 degrees of separation between yourself and somebody else. And I'm finding it's much less than 6. So to begin with, showing my age a bit, in the early 90s, I had friends in the music industry. Perth isn't that big, so the 6 degrees of separation didn't seem like 6, felt like maybe 5, 4, 3. And my background is mining, FIFO work mostly. And there's over 300 mines in WA, in Western Australia. And there's typically, 200 people per mine site. And every time I moved from one mine site to the other, I didn't necessarily know somebody, but I knew somebody who knew somebody from the site I just left. So that's like 2 degrees of separation with 300 times 200, 6,000 people potentially. More recently, there's been 1 degree of separation. And an example is, up until 2020, I was using the Labyrinth studio as a venue for my events. And now I am doing co-hosting with the owner of the Labyrinth Path. Labyrinth's got a few names, Labyrinth Studio, for the Cacao and Creation event, which I'll chuck in the comments if you're interested in that. But I gave him a copy of my book, and the next time I saw him, he said, "How do you know Cameron Gordon?" Cameron is a friend of mine who did the artwork for my book, and it turns out that Rob, the owner of Labyrinth Studio, has known for years, like known forever. And I was mind-blown. And again, very recently, because as a practitioner, I'm sure if there's other practitioners watching, it gets quiet. Business gets quiet this time of the year because people are more focused on other stuff rather than working on themselves. And so I decided to trial pet sitting. I love dogs, animals, I'll trial pet sitting. So I set myself up on this app, and someone immediately sent me a message saying, "I've got this dog, are you available from these dates?" And I went, "Sure." And we actually have a meet and greet where you get to know each other first, make sure it's a good match and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got home, because if you're not aware, Facebook, hi Facebook, they're listening, watching, I suddenly got her suggested as a friend, like a friend suggestion. And I thought, well, that makes sense. So I sent her a friend request and I went to message her to say how funny that this happened. And I realized that I'd messaged her in the past, and she's actually in this group. She's in the Soulful Lifestyle movement. Like, what? And this weekend, I was at the Mandurah Healing Psychic Expo, and the people next to me, I didn't know them from bar soap, I thought. One of them came over and chatted to me, and it turns out she's a life coach as well. And the other 2 are connected to the company I used to work for up until this year. And we got chatting and stuff, and we got along really well. So when I got home, I went to send him friend requests, and the one who came over to chat with me is also a life coach. I discovered I'm already friends with on Facebook, and we've chatted in Messenger in the past. And the more things that happened over the weekend, we had the same friends, all of them, like all 3 of them. We had the same friends. The connection was just uncanny. So going back to the Perth music industry and the mining industry and the connections there, I started thinking, the older you get, the more people you know, so it's more likely that you're going to know someone who knows someone. But it's getting to the point where you almost know that person, or have actually had connections with that person. So is it coincidence? Or is it just because we know more people? Or is it that the more we come into alignment with who we are, the more we attract people that are like us. What do you think? I'd love to know your thoughts. I'd love to hear any stories similar. Are you finding that the 6 degrees of separation is now 1? I love it. I just love how these things work. Anyway, thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.